So it's like 4 a.m. and there's no bed sheets on my bed. I tried washing the bed sheets to have clean sheets when I got home from work, but I forgot to put them in the dryer before I left for work. Then I got home from work and it wasn't even on my mind. Then I was on the computer for like an hour or two. Got off to go to bed and I walk into the bedroom and I'm like, crap. So now my bed sheets are in the dryer and I have nothing to do for like the next hour. So I was like, should probably make this Thursday Q&A fan shout out video. I'll be right back though because I got to get the info off my computer, which is in the living room.
What's up, buddy? Hey, buddy.
He's so lazy. He's like the coolest cat ever though. What a loser! What a loser! Meow. Like skipping across the floor. You're so silly. Alright, I'm back. And I got everything on my phone now. Took pictures of what I needed for this video. Lissa W was this last week my most engaged subscriber. That means that she did like the most likes, comments, shares, like anything. She engaged the most with my YouTube channel. So Lissa W, if you're watching this, send me a message on my Facebook page, which links are in the description below, and I'll work something out with you as far as like a Twitter or Instagram shout out, whatever you want between those two. I'll do that for you. So thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for engaging with my YouTube videos. I really appreciate it. Second fan appreciation of this video is going to be to Straight Up Dope. And you have been my longest subscriber, like over anybody, by months. Actually by like a year. You subscribed to me back on March 10th of 2012. And there's like maybe one other person that's subscribed to me since 2012. So in return for 43 months of dedicated you being a subscriber to me, I'm going to reward you with a $43 Amazon gift card. So hit me up on most likely my Facebook page like I did for Lissa, description in the link below, but hit me up on there and we'll work something out. I'll get your email address and I can send you that $43 gift card on Amazon. I really appreciate it. I think it's super awesome because you subscribed to me like a month after I went to MEPS. And I waited like a year after that to go into the Air Force. So you subscribed to me like way before I even left for basic. So that is just super awesome to me and mind-blowing. But you're my oldest subscriber that is on my YouTube channel. So I'm going to reward you for that. This week's question is going to be someone's post from Twitter. So this question comes from Adrian. His username is 620AdrianM. And he tweeted, "Was getting into the Air Force easy? The recruiters never return my calls when I try to call. They're never there. Thanks." It was not easy joining the Air Force. It was actually really stressful. It took a really long time. So I'm going to fill you guys in on my story and how it went for me. But I'm going to skip a lot of the major details and I'm just going to sum it up for you guys to keep this video really short. When I wanted to join the Air Force, I started calling the recruiter like multiple times a week to try to get a hold of her, and she would never pick up her phone, and I never could understand why. I would leave voicemails, never hear back. So I started stopping in the office every once in a while, but she was never there. Or there was like a sign that was like, "I'll be back later." And I was like, why are you never at work? Well, it turned out she was doing work this whole time, but she's really busy because there's like 30 other people like me trying to call her every single day, let alone she's trying to put in the like 30 people in her dep already. And then she also has to go to different schools during the week, like during her workday. She has to like go drive to a school, which could be 30 minutes, 40 minutes away, spend an hour or two there, then drive 30, 40 minutes back to work, then have lunch somewhere in there. So that explains why recruiters aren't that good at getting back to people, is because they have a lot of people trying to talk to them. Like imagine if you had you were a teacher, right? And you had like 30 kids in your class and every single one of them called you like every day. But then on top of that, you have 30 other kids that are trying to call you every day because they want into your class. And you'd be like, all right, this is way too much going on because like I already got to do stuff all day, then keep track of these 30 and then these new 31 in. And now you can see why it's very hectic for a recruiter. But I didn't see any of this until after I was in depth. So the whole time I was trying to join, I kept bugging my recruiter until she finally got a hold of me because one day I left a sticky note on her door. It was like, hey, call me. I'm like 21 years old. I want to join the Air Force. Like, I want to go ASAP. And so she like called me and was like, hey, got your sticky note. Like, we'll set up an appointment. So that's the crazy story of how I ended up starting to talk to my recruiter. It wasn't from calling or stopping the office. It was from a sticky note that I left on the recruiting station door. But that went on for like 2 months or 3 months of me calling and trying to get a hold of her, and finally her talking to me. And then we ended up talking for a few months until she would send me to MEPS, which I think it was like 3 months before I got to go to MEPS. So at this point, I had almost been talking to my recruiter for like 6 months or like 5 months when I first got to go to MEPS. And I was absolutely stoked. And I was like, all right, I'm going to go to MEPS. I'm going to get to pick my jobs. I'm going to leave for the Air Force. What actually happened was I went to MEPS, found out I was color deficient. That was a depressing day. I actually like cried the day I found out. Like, it was a sad time. I was emotional about it because like there were like 13 jobs I wanted to do in the Air Force, and definitely not the one I'm doing right now. But what happened was I got disqualified for every single one of those, and that's why I was really, really sad. But I still ended up obviously pursuing the Air Force, and that's where I am today. Well, after MEPS, I had to wait, I think it was 7 months till I even got my job. So you know how like you're in DEP right now, or like you're maybe joining and you get into DEP and you'll be like, oh, like jobs come out next month, like I'm gonna get one. That was me, like 7 times in a row, like 7 months. I was like, when's my job gonna get here? Did I get a job? Oh, not this week. Did I get a job? Then the next month. Did I get a job? Oh, I guess I'll just wait another month. So that went on for 7 months of me being like, I'm gonna get one. I didn't get one. I'm gonna get one. Didn't get one. And it was really frustrating, but like I was working full time at the time. But I was working full time, so I knew how to keep myself occupied, and I just hung out with my friends a lot. So that's how I dealt with the long period of time that I was in DEP. But it took me 7 months, got my job, aircraft structural maintenance, and this was in August, and they were like, you're not shipping out till January. And I was like, that's a really, really long time from now. But it was kind of good, instead of being like, you're leaving next week, say bye to everybody you know. So I continued to work for like 4 months. And it was awesome because I like made money during that time, and I got to see all my friends during that time. But it did take forever. From the time that I went to MEPS to the time that I left for BMT took 11 months. And I was contacting my recruiter months before I even went to MEPS. So it was like over a year-long process for me to join the Air Force. But like I said earlier, the reason for that was because your recruiter is most likely overwhelmed and busy, because you would not believe the amount of people that want to join the Air Force. Actually, you can kind of believe that because look at how many people view my videos that are trying to join the Air Force. There's literally thousands of you, and those get funneled into all these recruiters, and they have all these people talking to them, so they're constantly working with people and then having to put new people in. So if you're in the process right now, have patience with your recruiter, but make sure that like all your ducks are lined up in a row. Like you don't have any tickets, and you don't have any history with law, and you're not currently doing drugs, because all of those things will definitely prevent you from joining the Air Force. Now, some people will join the Air Force and they'll like go talk to the recruiter, and like immediately the recruiter's like, you're going to MEPS next week, and then they go to MEPS, and then they're in DEP for like a week, and the recruiter's like, hey, job just opened up, you want to leave next week? And they're like, yeah, and they would literally talk to a recruiter for like 3 weeks, and then they leave for BMT, and you're like, what? Like, that's how I felt most of the time, because there were kids that would come in and like 2 months later would leave, and I'd be like, I've been in DEP for like 7 months. Like, cool. So it does get frustrating, and it is hard, and sometimes recruiters are really busy, so you just have to stay consistent. Make sure that you are the quality that the Air Force needs, because when it comes down to it, it is the recruiter's choice and the Air Force's choice whether or not they want to accept you. So I have no say in whether or not you can join the Air Force. And sometimes your recruiter doesn't even have that say. I mean, your recruiter does overall have that say, but there are guidelines that they are told to follow. So make sure you're of the quality that the Air Force needs before you go and talk to a recruiter. And if you have any questions, try to contact a recruiter and get a hold of them. And if you do, then ask your questions. And then if they're like, yeah, you're still good to join, then be like, great, you're already talking to me, let's do this. And if they're like, no, you can't join, then go talk to the Army, because the Army accepts everybody. The Army is actually going to accept me like instantly. Like, I had already talked to them like right after I started talking to trying to talk to the Air Force recruiter, and she wasn't having it. Like wouldn't answer her phone, and I was like, what the heck? I'm gonna go talk to the Army. Like, I literally went to the Air Force recruiting station. She was not there, like, after like 2 months. And I walked over to the Army recruiter, and there were like 4 dudes there, and they're all like, yo, you want to join the Army? Like, I'll put you in this week. And I was like, oh, okay, like, sure. Like, I really want to go. Like, I was done with college. I wasn't done with college. I was like sick of college. And looking back, I'm like, dang, I should have tried in college. But the Army was like, we want everybody to join, like, now. Like, if you want to join, we'll put you in, like, right now. So I actually, like, talked to them for, like, a week. And then, yeah, that didn't go anywhere, because then I heard back from the Air Force recruiter. So thankfully, I kept trying with the Air Force recruiter, and I didn't join the Army, because, like, my life would be completely different right now. Like, all these videos would be, like, Army related. And I probably wouldn't have met McKenna, because we met because of my YouTube videos, which is crazy. But yeah, basically it takes a long time for some people. Some people it doesn't, but for those of you that are struggling right now with trying to join, it's taking a while, it's not going as fast as you planned, keep in mind that people like me, I waited over a year to join the Air Force, and look at, I've been in, my 3-year mark is in like 3 months. Like, I've been in for over 2.5 years, so that's crazy, but it's always been like that. It's always been very hectic with recruiting, and sometimes it's a slow process, and sometimes it's really hard to get a hold of your recruiter. So have patience and keep trying to pursue that if that's what you want. Don't just like give up on it, because if you really want it, you're going to regret going like, oh, I should have just kept calling, or I should have kept stopping in the office until they finally do talk to you. So that's what I did, and it finally paid off after like several months, but it is very frustrating. I feel your pain. I'm sorry. I wish there was something I could do, but I can't do anything. Most I can do is answer these questions and try to pass you on with the best knowledge that I know. Whew! So that video turned into a lot longer video than I planned. I get really wordy sometimes and I repeat myself or I talk a lot, but I hope you guys to this point have enjoyed this video or learned something, or yeah. So now let's get into some more shout outs. So I'm going to be doing 2 shout outs, and they're both going to be from Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram yet, link is going to be in the description below. And leave comments, because they might end up in one of these videos. So last week I posted a picture of me in my wife's car, and I was jump starting my car, like, so I was looking underneath the hood like when I had hers up, because I left my headlights on again. So I was driving her car for like 3 days until I finally had time to jump my car. Fellow_EK9 commented and said, LOL again. Yeah, I know, it's kind of embarrassing, because like I have a history, especially on my YouTube channel, because some of you guys already know, I left my headlights on like a few times off base, and like locals had to jump me. But I thought I was done with that too. Thankfully this time it was just like right outside, and I didn't have to worry about it. So, and thankfully my wife has her car here, and like she's in the States, so like I went out to use my car, wouldn't start, and I was like, you know what, cool, use the wife's car. Last week I also posted a picture of me like way back in the day when I had an afro. For those of you guys that don't know, permed my hair twice before I joined the Air Force, and it was like the coolest haircut I've ever had in my life, and like it kind of makes me want to get out of the Air Force just so I can perm my hair again, because like I loved it. I thought it was so cool. Bear Force 1 commented and said, LOL, you kind of look like Bob Ross. Now, I don't know who Bob Ross is, so I'm going to do a reaction video right now of me looking up who Bob Ross is. Alright, so let's look up who Bob Ross is. I think I remember seeing this guy as like a kid, but I can't remember. I think McKenna like quotes him sometimes, I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember like some of the sayings that he says. That's embarrassing. I've been told I look like Napoleon Dynamite too, which I feel like is better than that, but I was like the cooler version of Napoleon Dynamite. Just saying. Alright guys, well that's all I have for this video, and I appreciate you guys watching it. Be sure to give this a thumbs up if you liked it. Also, click the subscribe button somewhere around here on the YouTube page. I want you as a subscriber so you can see more videos by me twice a week, Tuesday, Thursdays. Also, be sure to share this video with anybody that you might know that would appreciate it as well, because it helps me out, it'll help them out. Everybody's happy. Also, check out social media links in the description below, and check out my last video that I posted on my YouTube channel.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, this you crazy mother.
Fun fact, today's video is going to be all about getting paid in the military. Getting paid in the military. Getting paid in the military. Look at all this money I got. Would you just look at it? Look at all this money I got. 'Cause I'm getting paid in the military.